Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. And now this is the third video of my David Bowie ranking of his singles. I did his RCA years 72 to 82 about a year ago, and then about 5 or 6 months ago I did the 1980s EMI America years. So I'm going to finish off and do from 1991 to 2016. Now it's really 2015 because I don't want to include anything after his death. So really it's the end of 2015. Okay, there's a couple I don't want to include. First off is whenever he appeared on Placebo's Without You I'm Nothing. I also don't want to include the 1999, I think it was, version, the remix of Under Pressure with Queen, which I really do like this version. And this here I think is brilliant, but I'm not going to include it either. And it's whenever we provided vocals for Arnold Layne when they appeared live with David Gilmour, which is a really good version. So he's actually done the two big Pink Floyd singles. He's done See Emily Play and Arnold Layne now. Okay, so as I say, there's going to be no posthumous releases at all. I'll be showing CD singles, 7-inch singles and 12-inch singles, and one which I don't have, and that's my number 30. There's 30 in all, and I'm going to start off with Rebel Never Gets Old, which is a mash up of Rebel Rebel and Never Get Old, and this came out in 2003. This here is like, you got this with a box set of the Bowie albums from Outside onwards up to Reality, which is a really good little box set, but it's going to be redundant very shortly because he's going to release these all over again. But I don't like this for the plain reason is that Never Get Old is the best song off this, and it should have been released as a single in its own right, but it never was. And to mash up Rebel Rebel with Never Get Old, it doesn't make sense. It did chart quite low down, and this CD, which is a double CD, features about 3 different versions of it, so it gets my number 30. At number 29, and I'm going to give it to Sue or A Season of Crime. Now this is about 8 minutes long, and it's a real jazzy number, and it's not very melodic, and I find it hard work. Now on the B side of this, there's a song called 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore, which is much better, and it got reworked as well as Sue for the Black Star album. But there's also an edited version of the single which of Sue, which is better, but it does highlight that it's not melodic at all, so it gets my number 29. Number 28 from 1996, and it's Telling Lies, and this featured on his Earthling album, and this was, I think, his first single that was download only. Now this is a 12-inch version. It's not bad, it's drum and bass, it's okay, but not one of my favourites. At 27, and it's a reworking of the Tin Machine song, and it's I Can't Read, and this was originally slated to feature on Earthling, but it was so different to the rest of the album they thought it would be a little bit out of place. I think it would have been a good inclusion as the last song, just to calm things down a bit, because that album is so hectic, and it would have been a nice ending to it, but it's not as good as the Tin Machine original. Okay, number 26, and I'm giving it to the second single from Outside, and it's Strangers When We Meet, and this itself is a reworking of the song from Buddha Suburbia. It's a good song, but it's a little bit on the bland side. I like it, but I don't think it's good enough to be a single. I Have Not Been to Oxford Town for me was the song screaming to be in a single from that album, so Strangers When We Meet is my number 26. At number 25, and the second single from the next day, and it's The Stars Are Out Tonight, and this is a good rocker. I think the verses are too long though, and it takes too long to get into the chorus, but it's better listening to this while you're watching the video, because it's got a cracking video, but it's still not one of my favourite songs off the album, but it's still not bad. And at number 24, and it's the fourth single from Earthling, and it's 7 Years in Tibet, and this is not bad at all. I do actually quite like this, but there's better singles. It's quite guitar heavy in the chorus, but it's a good song. And at number 23, also from the Earthling album, is Dead Man Walking, which a lot of people think is the best song off this, and well, there's one I do prefer more. It's more a standard David Bowie song. It's more melodic, it's less in your face drum and bass. That rhymed. But that gets my number 23. At number 22, and the third single from Outside, and it's Hello Space Boy, and this is the one, the Pet Shop remix, the Pet Shop Boys remix, which was a hit single for him, top 20. I actually do prefer the more hectic version on the album, but it's still not bad. It was good to see him back in the charts. At 21, from 1992, and it's from the film Real Cool World, and it's the title track, and this is the first thing he released after Tin Machine 2. Yeah, it's not bad, but it sank without trace. Obviously it wasn't promoted, but it's still a pretty good song. At number 20, the best single from Earthling, and it's Little Wonder. Now this is good, but it's maybe a little bit too long for me in the choruses. Still a good song, but the chorus goes on a little bit, and it is very drum and bass. At number 19, and it is the second single from Tin Machine 2, and it's Baby Universal, and this is a slight remix from the album version. There's not a lot of difference, to be honest, but it's a good rocker. I enjoy it, so it gets number 19. Number 18, and I'm not even too sure if this was actually a single in the UK, but it did chart, and it's Slow Burn, but I think this is a European single only, and this was a single from Heathen. This is the one with Pete Townsend on guitar. It's a very good song. It's again not one of my favourites. I think there's better ones that could have been released from that album, like A Better Future. I think would have been a fantastic single, but yeah, it is a good song, and it got on the Best of Bowie as well, but I'm not sure if this was actually an official UK release. I think it might have just been heavily imported. And at number 17, and it's the single from Reality, and it's Nuclear Star, which is a play on Nuclear Star. Yeah, a good rocker, good opener to the album. I still think Never Get Old was the obvious single, but yeah, this was probably the second choice of a single, and this gets my number 17. Number 16, and it's the third single from Black Tie White Noise, and it's Miracle Good Night, and this is very catchy and one of the best songs off the album. The thing about the Black Tie White Noise album, I think the first half of it is very good, and then it just falls apart in the second half. But this here is one of the better songs off it, so Miracle Good Night gets number 16. Number 15, and from the same album, and the first single from that album is Jump They Say, and this is a good song, a good video. It's about his brother Terry, who was admitted into a mental asylum and died in the early 90s, so very personal song for him, but very good. There's a rock remix of this as well, which just doesn't work. Okay, number 14, and the first single from Tin Machine 2, and it's You Belong in Rock and Roll, and I think this is a great little number. It really is. It's a really good song. Deserved to be a much bigger hit than it was, but unfortunately I think it only reached about 33 or something, but it's the highlight from that album. And at number 13, and it's the second single from Ours, and it is Survive, and this is the Marius de Vries remix, which works better than the album version. Yeah, good song, good video, can't say much more about it, and it deserves to get number 13. Number 12, and from the next day, it is Valentine's Day, and this is a big favourite of Noel Gallagher's, and a lot of people say that this would fit on Ziggy Stardust very well. It's a catchy song, it's guitar based, and It's got, I think, quite a weird video, an angry looking video with Bowie just sitting there playing a guitar, and he does not look happy, but it's a really, really good song, and I guess number 12. Number 11, and if you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have put this near the bottom, but I really like this now, and it's the title track of Black Tie White Noise, and I think this works really, really well. And this featured on one of the versions of Best of Bowie's. I think it might have been the Chilean version, and it was such, I've got quite a few different versions of that CD, and to hear that amongst the Bowie classics, it actually sounded really good, and I've started to appreciate this a lot more. Which goes into my top 10, and number 10, and it was the single, and it was a minor hit of Heathen, and it's Everyone Says Hi. Good song, very catchy, very acoustic. It's not really anything like he's done before, because it is very acoustic, and it's very singer-songwriter-y based song, but it's excellent, and it gets number 10. Number 9, and the title track from the Buddha of Suburbia, and is the Buddha of Suburbia, and this is really good, and this even brings in part of All the Madmen at the end with the Ouvre le Chien. But yeah, really good song from 1993, and this got top 40, I believe. Number 8, and I'm going to give it to, okay, this is the No Plan EP. Now, this was released after his death, but the first song off this is actually Lazarus, which was released before his death. And yes, it's heartbreaking, and it's heartbreaking to watch the video, and I still to this day don't understand how none of us caught on that he was ill, because he looked ill but nobody mentioned it. But it's a really good song. It does borrow a little bit from Slip Away from the Heathen album, but it's a better song, and so it gets number 8. And number 7 from the Next Day album, and this dropped on his birthday in 2013, and this is Where Are We Now. Now, this is actually the Stars Are Out Tonight single, with Where Are We Now as the B-side, so I'll just show the record. But yeah, at the start I wasn't too sure about this. I thought it was a bit of a boring song, but this has really grown on me, and the video for this is excellent as well. So Where Are We Now gets my number 7. Number 6, and we have 7. Yes, the song 7 from Ours, and again this is a Marius de Vries remix, and I think I prefer the album version, although I do like this as well. The album version is very acoustic-y, but this is a really good song, and I do like the remix as well, and this gets my number 6. And number 5, and we'll give it to the 5th single from the Next Day, and this is Love Is Lost. Now, this is a remix of the album version. This is so much different, and there's a creepy video as well. Now, the A side of this here is about 8 minutes, 9 minutes long. You do get an edited version, which is the same as the video, and this brings in samples of Ashes to Ashes. It changes the song about really completely, and it's really, really good. So Love Is Lost gets my number 5. And number 4 from the Next Day, and it's the title track, The Next Day, and this is again a great little rocker, and it's got an absolutely creepy video as well. It's actually quite a blasphemous video, because he's almost acting like a godlike figure, but really, really good. So I encourage you to watch that, and it's quite a violent video as well. So The Next Day is number 4. And number 3, and it's the first single from Outside, and it is The Heart's Filthy Lesson. This was weird as hell when I first heard this. I didn't like it, and again it just grew on me so much. I don't like the video for it, it's too industrial, but I really love the song, and it's the best song for me off that album. Heart's Filthy Lesson gets my number 3. And number 2 is the first single from Ours, and is Thursday's Child, and this is a gorgeous song with a gorgeous video, which you will not see on YouTube for some reason. You can get a reverse version of it, but they've taken it down, and I don't know why, because it's the one where he's with his wife and they look in the mirror and they see younger versions of themselves. It's brilliant video and it's absolutely fantastic single. So the best Bowie single from 91 to 2015 for me is Black Star, and just under 10 minutes of sheer brilliance, and what a way to go out on. Yeah, it's really moody and it goes into various different sections. There's a more hopeful section in the middle, but I absolutely love this, and we'll actually open this up and show it. This is from the Japanese Bowie it's Japanese exclusive, and we have it on a lovely red vinyl. Need to be careful here. You also get some Japanese stuff, writing, plus the lyrics in English and Japanese, and then, not really cool, with the black, you get a huge poster as well, which is one of the last photographs that was actually taken of David, and you've probably seen that photograph many times on the internet. So that's nice to have, and it's only red at the back. So that's my ranking of the Bowie singles 91 to 2015. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure at some stage I'll do a roundup and maybe do a top 20 of everything of Bowie, which is going to be difficult, but he's my #1 artist, so expect videos. Okay, that's me for now. All the best. Bye bye.